Hey, this is the World Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is why Joe Biden doesn't deserve the hate he gets. Now, everyone, who follows politics, knows Joe Biden is getting a lot of hate. Everything from inflation to the wokeness, and so on and so forth. And pretty much everything Joe Biden gets a blame for. Even if somebody were to die by accidentally falling off a cliff, people would somehow find a way to blame Joe Biden for it. And the truth of the matter is, Joe Biden doesn't deserve the hate he's getting. Everyone wants to blame him for everything. And for this video, I will discuss the reason why Joe Biden doesn't deserve the hate he gets, okay? In a way anyone can understand. So anyway, let's get started. So when it comes to the first point I want to make, when it comes to why Joe Biden doesn't deserve the hate he gets, which is one of the first things he constantly gets blamed for, which of course, you guessed it, inflation, the price of everything going up. The truth of the matter is, Joe Biden is not responsible for inflation. As the truth of the matter is, not many people might really remember, but inflation, the price of things has been going up for years, okay? It's been going up for years. I remember in the past, like for example, Sprite bottles used to be like 591 milliliters. In 2016, they lowered the size to 500 milliliters. And I remember even around the time in the mid 2010s, a lot of people were starting to talk about how everything is starting to get smaller. You know, everything from the price of chips, from the size of chip bags to beverages and so on and so forth. I remember it exactly. I'm certain if you could look up an article from that time period, you will find direct evidence that literally proves my point. Okay? The price of everything has been going up for years. Okay? This is nothing new, and this was kind of bound to happen anyway, because the world has been unstable for quite some time. If anything, it's just been functionally dysfunctional. Now it's just bordering straight up dysfunctional. The truth of the matter is, the world's had a lot of issues. Everything from company greed to, of course, all the situations going on in the world. The price of everything has been going up for years now. Okay, and 2020, of course, surprise, surprise, the COVID-19 crisis happened. You saw exactly what happened, and things got even worse. Surprise, surprise, especially when you have everyone staying inside. You know, obviously, if you have less people obviously buying things in general, companies are going to have to raise the price in order to make up for the cost that they are losing. The cost of things, the price, the amount of money that they're losing. So surprise, surprise, that happened. So the truth of the matter is, when it comes to the inflation issue, this was bound to happen. Not to mention, you also have something else to keep in consideration. This is not just happening in America. This is happening all across the world, okay? It's happening in Britain. It's happening in China. It's happening in Italy. It's happening in Spain. It's happening in Canada. And as anyone who uses their brain can obviously kind of tell, those countries have absolutely, you know, are two different nations from the United States. So the truth of the matter is, how can Joe Biden be blamed for everything when it comes to this particular issue, but specifically in the inflation issue, when it's happening all across the world? This has nothing to do with Joe Biden. What the hell does Joe Biden have to do with the price of food and everything going up? That has nothing to do with Joe Biden. Not to mention, you obviously have the war in Ukraine, you have the war in Israel. It creates a lot of panic because everyone starts hyping things up. Not to mention all the people who say, oh my God, it's going to create a world war, which of course just creates more panic. And as a result of that, you know, it just helps. It creates chaos, and people are not willing in a stock market, the international stock market, not willing to do things in the way they normally do it, which of course, as a result, can affect the price of things because it creates a lot of panic and a lot of so on and so forth. You get the point, okay? The stock market is highly affected by people's behavior and so on and so forth. So that's the truth of the matter, okay? So that's the first thing I want to get across here. This is happening all over the world. With inflation, this has nothing to do with Joe Biden. So that's the first thing I want to mention. Now, the second thing I want to mention when it comes to the particular issue, when it comes to of course, you know, the issue of course, everyone wants to blame it. Wokeness. All these weird things. People having to constantly make characters that randomly include gay, LGBTQ plus characters, as well as randomly putting a black character into things, and just force diversity and stuff for things that sometimes it just literally doesn't make any sense, to the culture of, you know, pronouns. Like every time you meet an LGBTQ plus person, you have to call them the right pronoun, or else you can get in trouble, and all these things going on in universities where they rewrite history, so on and so forth. You've heard it a million times. The truth of the matter is, all these things that you see going on has literally nothing to do with Joe Biden. Joe Biden is just simply the president of the United States. All he does is just simply answer things related to foreign policy and so on and so forth. A lot of these movements, if you can remember, were literally developing in the mid-2010s. Wokeness is something that people have been saying since like 2015, 2016. You know, and of course, as usual, some people took it out of context and made it something that it wasn't. People have been complaining about this wokeness shit since 2018. What the hell, you know, like, what the hell does Joe Biden have to do with that when he wasn't even president at the time? And that's the problem, what people have in this world. Everyone just wants to talk, and obviously find an easy solution. Let's blame Joe Biden. Oh, of course, because he's the president of the United States. So, of course, you know, it makes a lot of sense to blame him because it's the easiest target to blame for everything. But the truth of the matter is, Joe Biden is not responsible for the wokeness shit. He has nothing to do with this. He has nothing to do with that. Those are just simply stupid, pretentious, you know, a lot of, particularly, unfortunately, I have to admit, I'm not trying to be racist, but I'm going to be honest, white females who just a lot of times just say things and don't really know what they're fucking saying, and so on and so forth, and just kind of screw things up for people of actual color who have to deal with this shit. So truth be told, in the end of the day, the truth of the matter is, this has nothing to do with Joe Biden. It's just simply people who get offended by everything, make a fuss about random things that don't matter, and pretty much spend their time on Twitter complaining about everything. What the fuck does Joe Biden have to do with that? You know, and it's the problem with today's world. People do not fact check, and as well as not even fact check, people have lost their ability to cognitively put two and two together. Okay, Joe Biden has nothing to do with this. What the hell does Joe Biden have to do with any of this stuff? If Joe Biden is somehow as senile and as prone to memory loss as these people claim, you know, even though, you know, Trump has been showing signs of that, boy, too, you know, but yeah, like I said, if Joe Biden is really as prone to memory loss and is clearly in his own world and blah, 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 as these people say, why exactly couldn't he be responsible for these things, in all honesty, you know? Particularly the second scenario. How the hell is he responsible for that? Like, this is where putting two and two together comes in a mix. Okay? The truth of the matter, you know? And, you know, truth of the matter. But a lot of people don't understand it. Even the fact of, like, everyone complains about Joe Biden's age. Have you looked at Donald Trump's age? He's 79. He's 79 last time I checked. Or in his 70s, whatever. You get the point. He can literally just pass away while in office. So I don't know where people are getting this information from. Oh, is Joe Biden to blame for everything? He has nothing to do with this. It's not his fault. And to blame Joe Biden is simply taking the easy way out. He is not responsible for a lot of things that are going on. A lot of these issues we have been developing for years. And as you already know, the United States is a nation that is very democratic. And even the most powerful person in the United States of America is going to have an extremely hard time, as everyone would know, to really, really make anything really change. You know, look at Barack Obama when he tried to, for example, try to do some of the things he did. Look at how much issues he had. So what my point is that there's a lot of things that go on that even a president of the United States cannot change. He cannot change and tell people directly in this part or that part to do this, and then even, to do this as much as people make it seem to be. it's all hype, and it's just simply an easy target to blame Joe Biden. A lot of people hate Joe Biden. Let's keep it real, because he was Barack Obama's vice president. So the truth of the matter is, Joe Biden doesn't deserve the hate he gets. Does he have issues? Yes, but he doesn't deserve the hate he gets. A lot of these issues were building up for years, way before he came into office. So blaming him is just simply an easy excuse. And he gets blamed for everything, while in the end of the day, a lot of stuff has literally nothing to do with him. So anyway, this is my video. All I have to say, simply put it, is that I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all I have to say, and simply put it, later.